Hey guys, this is the photo department. Today I'm drinking a coffee from a roaster here in Oakland, California, who I used to work for. This is the Celebration blend from Highwire Coffee. It is roasted practically right around the corner from where I live, and I think it was about 4 or 3 years ago I worked at one of their locations. They make fantastic coffee, and they have a bunch of different blends and single origin coffees you can get all year round, but at the end of the year, every year they have the Celebration blend, and it's a fantastic seasonal coffee, and I'm really enjoying it. I've had it for about a couple days now, and it's just really fantastic. You can get Highwire coffee online. I got a lot of great ideas from you guys, thank you so much. But then I realized it is the 6-month anniversary of purchasing my Fujifilm X-Pro2. Now I can't have it in my hands because it's currently filming this video. I wanted to kind of come back around to the X-Pro2, talk about what I like and what I don't like about it, kind of give you like a 6-month review of how I've been enjoying the camera. Also made a very bold statement when I made the first video the day after the X-Pro2 arrived. I had only had the camera for less than 24 hours, and I think the statement I made was that it was the best camera I've ever used. And obviously only having it for 24 hours, that's not really a lot of time to be able to really evaluate a camera and how well it does and how well it falls into your workflow or how well it works for me. So I decided to give it 6 months to see how I really felt about it. And so today we'll see if it does hold up to my crazy standards and if it really truly is the best camera I've ever used. A little side note, I have a fan going in my room because I have just processed some film and I hung it up and it is drying. I don't think that it's being picked up by this microphone, but if it is, I apologize for the extra ambient noise, but I think we're gonna be okay. So I just wanna give a little bit of background before we get into what I think about the camera. So I have been shooting film for about 16 years, and it got to the point in my career where it made sense to purchase a digital camera for myself. I had been borrowing digital cameras for commercial work and for other professional work that I had to use a digital camera for, and it just makes a lot of sense these days to have a digital workflow even if you are shooting primarily film. When I decided I needed to buy a digital camera for myself, I did a little bit of research and I kind of landed on Fujifilm cameras by chance. I did some reading up on them, and I saw examples online of images that people have made with their cameras, and I was impressed with the image quality. I was impressed with the colors. I was impressed with the size and portability of the cameras, and I really thought they looked really cool. I really like the way that Fujifilm cameras have a retro, timeless look. I wouldn't say they were fully retro, but they're timeless. The cameras look very beautifully designed tools. So my friend Nico was selling his Fujifilm X-E1 with an 18-55 kit lens, and so I jumped on that. He gave me a really great price. I snagged it and I started using it right away, and I was blown away by how snappy and responsive and fun that camera was to use, and that was my primary camera for about 2 years. I really loved the rangefinder styling. I loved how compact and portable it was while still being powerful and creating really fantastic images that were easy to import and edit. And yeah, it just was one of those things where I picked up a camera, and rather than being bogged down by all the features and size and all the possibilities, it kind of just became part of making the image, and it didn't get in my way. It kind of stayed out of my way and allowed me to conceptualize things like the lighting, composition, the subject. I got more into the actual image itself than worrying about what the camera was doing. So 6 months ago, I was shooting in Southern California for a coffee company called Compelling Coffee, and we were doing location shooting for their cafes, for social media stuff, and my camera was stolen. The X-E1 was stolen, and I was really bummed about it, but I was able to get a Kickstarter going, and a lot of my friends helped me fund that, and I was able to save up enough money to purchase the X-Pro2. So the reason why I chose the X-Pro2 was a lot of the same reasons why I went with my friend's XE1 when he was selling his. It was a matter of features and function and style all kind of melded into one. It is compact, it's portable, it has a very solid feel while not being extremely heavy. It's got a bigger body, so it fits my hand better. So I really loved the way it looked, felt. I liked the images that are coming out of the camera. They are gorgeous, straight out of the camera with minimal tweaking. I'm getting images that I'm really, really proud of. The JPEGs coming out of the camera are incredible. Dual SD card slots, which is a first for me. I never had a camera that had dual SD card slots, and I think that this is kind of a travesty that this is not commonplace with all cameras. Also, the autofocus on this camera is really fast, really quick, great in low light. That was important to me. I never had really great autofocus, especially with the XE1. The XE1 had serviceable autofocus, but the X-Pro2 is like a whole nother level, really great. Now Fuji cameras are doing really great things with video. The X-T2 is, you know, a real contender when it comes to small compact video cameras. It's not, you know, a Panasonic GH5 or GH6, or it's not a Canon DSLR, but it's like up there, you know. It's no Sony A7R II, but it's capable and people are using it. The X-Pro2, while not the greatest form factor for video, is also still very capable. I'm using it to film all my videos for YouTube now, and they come out really great. The files are easy to edit. And now in December, late December, apparently we're going to be getting an update from Fujifilm that will allow for 4K video, which is cool. I don't think I have much use for 4K video, but it's really great to see that that capability is in this camera. For the things I don't like, the camera is a little bit cramped on the controls as far as on the back right, where the auto exposure lock and the autofocus lock are, but honestly that's just because I have massive hands. My hands are big, and that's not necessarily Fujifilm's fault. They can't make the camera perfect for everyone's hand size. My solution is probably going to be to pick up the Fujifilm X-Pro2 grip. It's like 120 bucks or something, but it's got the Arca Swiss system built into it. It makes the camera a little bit beefier to hold on to, and I think that that's really going to help. Honestly, even without the grip, it's not that big of a deal. I'm rarely using either the auto exposure or autofocus lock, and when I do use it, it's not really bothering me that much. But battery life. We've known for a long time that mirrorless cameras just don't have the battery life, the battery capacity that other cameras do. They are very power hungry. The diopter adjustment. Mine gets bumped every day because it's right on the side, it's right next to the strap, so it's gonna get smacked and it's gonna get moved. I need the diopter to be pretty much right in the middle because I'm wearing glasses, so it's kind of important for it to stay where it is so I can see everything. My solution was to put a piece of black gaff tape over it. Problem solved. Diopter is not something I need to adjust every day if it's in the same position. So once again, little tiny thing that's not a big deal. It's done. So this camera is very compact, it's very light, it's really great for traveling, especially when I have my 35mm f2 lens, which is currently mounted to the camera, which is filming this video right now. It just works. It's like a little Leica setup, kind of. I know people don't like when you call Fuji's little Leicas, but I'm in the camp of people that really enjoys the fact that this camera looks kind of like a Leica when you're out on the street to a casual observer. It's kind of funny. The 35mm f2 is the lens that I probably use about 90% of the time on this camera. It just was built for this system. It just works so beautifully, and it's kind of just like, why would I use another lens? The other lens that I use on this camera really frequently is my Pentax 50mm f1.4, which is a amazing all-metal vintage lens that I got for free. It is just beautiful. The out-of-focus rendering is crazy. It's perfect for portraits. I use it really often actually for video when I don't need autofocus, and I also like to use it for product photography or B-roll for video. Okay, so talking about all this stuff, all these features. You can look up the Fujifilm X-Pro2 online if you'd like to learn more about this camera, but we want to get to the bottom of things. Is this the camera that I thought it was? Does the statement that I made 24 hours after I got this camera hold up 6 months later? I've used this camera every day for 6 months, practically. There are some days I didn't shoot, but pretty much every day I've been using this camera for work and for personal stuff. I've taken it with me everywhere I've gone in the last 6 months. So is this camera the camera that I thought it was? Does it hold up? Is it the best camera I've ever used? Yes, totally. It's not for everyone. This is not the solution camera. This is just a good camera. I picked it up because I thought that it would fill certain roles in my workflow that needed to be taken care of, and I was absolutely correct. It also filled in for situations I didn't realize I would be using it for, like for video. It is fantastic for video. The images that I'm able to make with this camera are amazing. I mean, like I said, 90% of the time it's the 35mm f2 mounted to this body, and with this kit, it's just, you get what you get. It's a very versatile, very capable system. And for me, for my workflow, for the stuff that I'm doing, which is editorial, lifestyle, portraiture, product, and e-com, it works really well. There are people that'll prefer other cameras for the same things that I'm doing, and that's totally fine. That's the great thing about this world of photography. There are so many options and so many different things to try out and enjoy, and I've found mine, and mine is the Fujifilm X-Pro2. The point is that this camera won me over, and I'm very lucky to be able to use this camera. It's been really great, and I think my work has been getting better because of it, which is nice. It's nice. All right, that's it for me. If you want to learn more about the Fujifilm X-Pro2, there are tons of resources online. There are tons of videos on YouTube where people really like break down the camera and get really into like the features and stuff. If you want to see work that I've been doing with this camera, you can go to my website. It's csturmphoto.com, or you can go to my Instagram, ghostphoto on Instagram, and you can see I usually tag what camera I use in what images, so you can see which is doing what. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments, or you can send me an email, and I will see you guys next week, probably on Tuesday. Goodbye.